News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
They're trucking in water to Glendive because the Yellowstone River has been fouled by oil. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 2015. Right now, the sky is mostly cloudy. We have 24 degrees, and we do have a winter weather advisory until 9 this morning because of slick roads throughout western Montana. So as you're out driving this morning, please be aware there's lots of black ice out there, and slow down, take your time. Our newscast this hour brought to you by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville, where they have hundreds of builders' options to choose from. Our top story this morning, truckloads of drinking water are arriving today in Glendive, where thousands of residents have been told not to drink from their taps following an oil spill along the Yellowstone. About 6,000 residents were advised not to drink or cook with city water after a pipeline accident spilled up to 50,000 gallons of crude oil. The accident occurred upstream from the city's water treatment plant. Officials say preliminary tests indicate at least some oil did get into a water supply intake on the Yellowstone. Results of further tests are expected in the next few days. Cleanup crews trying to recover the spilled crude have been hampered by ice that covers most of the river. The pipeline is owned by Wyoming-based Bridger Pipeline Company. Yesterday, the state Senate discussed SB 107, a bill that could lead to the expansion of Hellgate Elementary into a K-12 facility. Missoula County School District 1 Superintendent Alex Apostle was at that meeting and testified against the expansion.
I strongly believe that K-8 expansion would move in a direction that is contrary to overall public sentiment and highly detrimental and damaging to our current, exceedingly successful educational program in the Missoula County Public Schools, and overall will have a negative impact on Missoula.
Apostle says a new high school so close to three others would drain teachers, resources, and endanger already successful programs.
If they were to go forward, number one, we'd lose revenue and tax base. That's number one. And we'd lose teaching positions because you get funded in a school district based on the number of students that you have currently in attendance. And if another high school were to be built in the location that we're talking about, we would lose students over a period of time.
Hellgate Elementary Superintendent Doug Reisig sees the situation differently. He told our news partners at NBC Montana and said the expansion of Hellgate would, quote, help provide a well-rounded educational experience within the context of the educational philosophy that has guided Hellgate Elementary for so many years. Certain welfare applicants would be required to take drug tests under legislation proposed here in Montana. Republican Representative Randy Pinocci of Sun River introduced the bill in the House Human Services Committee yesterday. He says thousands of Montanans asked him to sponsor the bill, and it's to protect children. House Bill 200 would require people to apply for assistance under the state's Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program to fill out a drug abuse questionnaire. The applicant would then have to take a drug test if staff determines a problem could be likely. Those who refuse to fill out the questionnaire would not receive public assistance under that measure. For many Montana cities, cell phones are already banned for drivers unless a hands-free device is being used. Billings Area State Representative Virginia Court has a bill in the legislature that would extend a similar ban statewide, even while drivers are stopped at a stoplight.
We've actually have in the bill that that's an inappropriate place to use it. I've observed personally people stopped at stoplights, they're on their phones, and guess what? Everybody else is behind honking because they're still texting or doing whatever. So, if you're at a stoplight, hey, go through the stoplight, go over to the side, see what your message is.
Court was asked why the ban should apply to the whole state instead of letting each jurisdiction decide individually.
The cell phone usage has contributed to over 1,600 crashes between 2004 and 2013. It's an increasing problem, especially among our teenagers. I would like to see us reduce our crashes, and I'm happy to carry this bill.
Court says distracted driving, like drunk driving, is a danger to everyone on the road. Democrat Governor Steve Bullock's latest plan to accept federal money to expand Medicaid coverage has been formally introduced. Bullock announced the measure called the Healthy Montana Plan with sponsor Representative Pat Noonan at the Capitol yesterday. Under House Bill 249, people earning 138% or less of the federal poverty level would qualify to receive Medicaid. Republicans rejected the expansion in 2013. Visitors to Missoula Community Medical Center will encounter special precautions to prevent the spread of flu. Infection Control Coordinator Pamela Whitney says everyone who comes in the hospital will encounter a flu station.
What we have are, we call them flu stations at all of the entrances, and what that is going to be alcohol, hand sanitizer, and a mask and Kleenex. And so on that flu station, there's a little sign that says cover your cough.
Whitney says patients who come to the hospital with signs of flu are placed in isolation for droplet precautions.
The patient stays in isolation until 24 hours after their symptoms stop, as in fever and any kind of cough, or sometimes or 7 days after the start of their symptoms, whichever comes first.
Hundreds of cases of flu have been diagnosed in Montana this season. Healthcare officials encourage everyone to get a flu shot. Well, the anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court's 1973 Roe v. Wade decision is this Thursday, and the pro-life organization Concerned Women of America will be hosting an event at the Capitol Rotunda in Helena on Friday. Montana State Director Tanya Shellnut says the event is entitled Pro-Life is Pro-Women and describes some of the little-talked-about after-effects of abortion.
Women who had abortions actually are 6 times more likely to commit suicide, and they deal with things such as depression, guilt, shame, all of those different things, and it's never something that goes away.
Shellnut describes more of the negative aspects of abortion.
I do mentoring, and I've worked with women who've had abortions, and I have not met one who hasn't deeply regretted her decision. And we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about the effects that it has on the woman, and often it affects the man too.
Shellnut said the ceremony will be from noon till 1 Friday in the Montana State Capitol Rotunda in Helena. Montana's congressional delegation congratulated Anna Moronick of East Helena on her acceptance to the U.S. Air Force Academy. Moronick was nominated for appointment to the base in Colorado Springs last year by former Senator John Walsh. She was lauded by Senator Steve Daines and John Tester and Representative Ryan Zinke, according to a news release from Daines' office. And finally, a Billings woman has claimed a $100,000 prize from the Montana Millionaire Raffle. Montana lottery officials say Patricia Ninichuk claimed her winnings Friday. She bought her ticket at McPhinney's in Billings. News Talk time now is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Heads up on the roadways for freezing rain in and around the Missoula area as we head through the morning. Conditions will improve, though, as we head into the afternoon with the highs in the middle 30s. I'm meteorologist Mac Ray for KECI 13, your first alert station.